YouTube. We're live.
We're on.
I'm in a great mood today. Yesterday, my wife's been asking me for the last 5 months to fix the towel rack in the bathroom, and like just it's so multifaceted, the success that I had yesterday. One, I was thinking about puttying the hole in the wall, which was like I was like, "Oh my god, that's so out of my man skills," you know? And then I discovered this thing called a molly bolt. Do you know what that is?
No.
It's basically this piece of metal, and you fold it in half and it has a spring on it, and you put it in the hole, and then there's a screw on the other side, and then when you put the molly bolt through the hole, it pops open and grabs the sheetrock from the back.
Okay.
It
You're
made
already way over my head in terms of carpentry,
I
but go
I was
on.
I wa yeah, it's just a great day. I went to Home Depot, I found molly bolts without asking anyone, I fixed the
Nice,
towel
nice.
rack, and then I had the nerve, Brendan, to, tell my mom, and then my
Was
mom's
she
like,
was she
"Oh."
so proud?
Well, she's like, "The towel rack at my house is jacked up."
There you go.
And of course, I had these extra 20 molly bolts from, Home Depot, so I went over to my mom's house and I fixed her towel rack. I fixed a hook in her bathroom. I think I secured my inheritance. I s
So you
I
you
swear to
you
God, you should
fixed not one, but 2 towel racks yesterday?
I I dropped out of college after 10 years as an undergrad, and, I thought my relationship would never recover with my mom, but I fixed one towel rack yesterday, and you'd think I graduated from Harvard. It was crazy.
Congrats. Cheers
Thank
to
you.
your towel rack.
And today I'm thinking about buying myself a pole saw, a Milwaukee pole. Well, I was thinking about getting a Milwaukee pole saw, but now I'm thinking, shit, I changed the towel rack. I deserve a gas. I've never owned a gas power tool. I'm thinking about like just really stepping up my
For sure.
testosterone
Yeah,
levels.
you should just go all in. There's no stopping you now.
Do you own any gas power tools?
No, I rent an apartment, and if anything is even remotely wrong, I submit a maintenance request.
Yeah,
I had
handy.
one the other day. This was my low point. I submitted a maintenance request because our fan was broken. I was like, I don't know how to fix a fan. Maintenance guy comes the next morning, walks in, looks at the fan, and there's a little switch on the wall. He just clicks the switch and it starts up again. And I was like, oh right, there's a remote and a switch, and the switch has to be on. So I have some work to do in that area.
You know that guy was stoked.
He just likes, the quick jobs and being able to make stuff work.
Yeah, it was quick, and then he goes to the bar and buys the beer, and he's
Yep.
like, "These pussies don't even know how to turn
Yeah.
a
Oh,
switch."
yeah. I'm sure I was the talk of his evening.
Hey, I was really thinking about buying a gas powered, so I was gonna get an electric pole saw. It's just like a little tiny chainsaw on the end of a stick so I could cut some
Yeah,
branches high in
like
the tree.
branches and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, and then someone's like, "Oh, get a gas one." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I'll get a gas one." And then they're like, "And it's really easy mixing the gas." And right then I was like, "No, electric." Back mix what?
Velocity of mixing gas for your pole saw.
Mix what? Hey, I was thinking this morning, there's gotta be 2, obviously more than 2, but, like, you meet someone and they're like, "What's Wodify?" And there's, like, gotta be, like, this really quick answer, like, "It's gym management software." But what if, I truly care, like, I have 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Tell me, what is Wodify? I get so excited, but by the way, when I first found out what Wodify was, I told my son, my 10-year-old son, and so he started now he does a workout, and then films it and then edits it, and I'm gonna 'cause I did that once with 50 workouts, and so he's like, "I'm gonna do 50 workouts, and I'm gonna put them on Wodify." I'm like, "You're a genius," you know? So he's working to have his own, like, little, spot at Wodify for 10-year-old fitness, and I think my son's the greatest 10-year-old that ever lived, so I think he's gonna make a killing. But for him, that's
That's
what Wodif
awesome.
yeah. Will he be the youngest person with programming on Wodify if he does that?
I mean, probably 10-year-old with programming on Wodify, I would say so. I gotta, like, look at our terms and conditions to make sure he can do that.
He could lie, he
That's
could lie. He
yeah,
could
yeah,
lie.
you mean the greatest 18-year-old.
Right, right. So tell me, what is like someone could ask me what's this podcast, and I'd be like, oh, it's a way to sharpen my skills every morning to fight with people on the internet. Or I could say, hey, it's a way
Yeah.
I pay my kids JiuJitsu bills. Or I could be like, it's a place where I talk about politics and fitness and have the most open discussion on the internet. It's all just the different angles.
Yeah.
Um, but I really Wodify is so crazy multifaceted. And then on top of that, which I think is wild, is that you guys aren't owned by private equity.
Yeah.
That you
Yeah.
might be one of the only people in this kind of space where the employees actually might still give a shit. What would to be determined.
I
But
like to think so.
it's crazy when employees care. It's crazy the difference.
I completely know what you're saying, and I think our employees do care a tremendous amount. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So what is Wodify? And then we'll work our way to like why people care, if you don't
Yeah,
mind.
and I mean, I think for sure, and since we have 90 minutes, like you said, if someone asks you about the podcast, I have kind of an elevator pitch, but I think the best way to understand your podcast might be to understand your background and your history through CrossFit and content creation. And similarly with Wodify, I can kind of tell that story, and I think that'll help you and the audience understand the company we are today and
Yep.
what we built. And
Yep.
so our founder's name is Amit Shah, and some of this is we talk about often, so I'll try to share some stories that we don't share as much. But in 2012, Amit Shah, who has a background in technology and massive kind of multi-billion-dollar ERP and CRM implementations, like going into big companies and implementing software, started just getting obsessed with CrossFit. I think he found out about it. There were like beach workouts that were happening on the East Coast, and so he started doing beach workouts on a vacation, came back to town, found a local CrossFit gym called CrossFit Aspire. And when he went in, the tech side of his mind saw an opportunity because there was an inefficiency happening in the business, which was most gym owners at that time were writing up a workout on the whiteboard. People would do the workout, and then often they would write their results on the whiteboard so they could compare it to other people. And there's maybe like a dusty filing cabinet where two or three of the top athletes would also keep track of their results so they could look back at it. And then the last thing was the gym owner, maybe at 9 o'clock that night, was like typing in the workout into their WordPress website so it would show up on the website. And
I
so
remember all this. I
yeah,
remember all this. Yep.
yeah. So Wodify was born solving a pretty simple problem, which was digitizing that whole experience. And if you were able to type your workouts into a computer once, and we displayed it on a TV in the gym, and we pushed it to your website, and we let the athletes in the gym, instead of having to write down the workout and write down their results, just type in their results because we already had the workout programmed. And then also be able to see their performance compared to not just their 6 a.m. class, but the 6 p.m. class too, because they could check the results later digitally. And so it was a passion project, started out of an exciting opportunity. And the reason Wodify was successful in the early years is because that wasn't just an improvement in efficiency, but it actually solved a retention problem that a lot of CrossFit gyms had. It was creating much higher engagement for the athletes. It was showing them, hey, even if a month or two in, you don't look different in the mirror, or there's the numbers haven't changed on the scale yet, you might have just PR'd your back squat because you learned how to do it with correct form, and you see a little gold star next to your name. So that was the just inception of Wodify. We were a digital performance tracking tool, and we went out to NC Fit and Mayhem and some of these big gyms, and we're like, hey, try our software. Let us know what you think, and if you like it, it'd be awesome if you told other people about it. And
Were there other people in the space at that point doing that?
there were a few companies. So there was companies helping gyms just manage like payment processing, like MindBody, that's been around forever. And then
Okay.
there were a few companies that just did performance tracking, but most of what they did is they tried to just replicate that like notebook that people were tracking their performance in. So they created a system that was like a little too complex. It required the clients to still enter the workout. And maybe it gave them like too many options. And so we simplified it by having the gym owner enter the workout and connecting it to their database of clients. And then all the clients need to do, and the athletes in the gym, is enter like one or two numbers. And then we were the first company to kind of create that in-gym experience.
I was yesterday, Matt Souza, the producer of this show, was telling me about this idea someone had for a contest. I don't even remember the contest. And he was telling me about the entering the contest has to be really easy, but it has to be commensurate to the prize. So if the prize is $100 million, you can make the barrier to entry high.
Yeah.
If the prize is just like winning one free gripper, that shit better be easy. And so I sort of see as like you seen that too. Like you wanted to make the barrier to entry for the user to be really low because you want to engage them quickly
Yeah, exactly. And you want to have
and get them find the value in it.
and you want to have an incentive, like if you write down your workout on a whiteboard and you go home after the 6 a.m. class, you're the next time you show up to the gym, the whiteboard's probably going to be erased. But
Right.
what if at 4 p.m. when you're sitting at work and you're like, God, that workout was the best part of my day, you get a little notification because someone just liked your workout in a different class. Like
Yeah.
that is uh a little hit of dopamine in a positive way. In our case, we're helping people
Yep.
get fitter.
Yep.
And what we were doing is we were connecting people to their gym for more than just 1 hour a day. So they were
Yep.
thinking about it for, throughout the day and building a community in that way.
And I hear that story a lot. I would say once a month for 15 years, I've heard that story where someone tells me, yeah, there's this guy in the 4 o'clock class and he always tries to beat my score. So I'm always wondering if he tries to beat my score. Matter of fact, I just heard it the other day. Taylor Self, one of the guys who has a show on this channel, was telling me that his buddy Bryson, they stay connected throughout the day based on whether Bryson's going to beat his score.
Yeah. No, there's an element of competitiveness, and then there's also, as we've evolved, there's gyms. Back then, I think, because it was so new, everyone was like, "Okay, cool." The thing is competitiveness and beating each other's scores in the leaderboards. But there's, a lot of customers that have less competitive gyms or care, but they still want the social engagement. And like there was a customer in Los Angeles that they had a Halloween party, and they're not a competitive gym at all. Like no one really cares about the leaderboard, but they had
So they say.
one of their coaches dressed up and their costume was Wodify comments. And it was just the comments on
Oh,
everyone's performance that were like fun. So it really does help just bring the community together. And there's a I think especially since COVID, this tech versus human almost like conflict. And I think what we tried to do as a business throughout our entire history is just allow technology to help create stronger connections with real people.
I'm gonna come back to what is Wodify, and I wanna
Yeah,
make
yeah.
like
Sorry, I just started.
no,
That was
no,
the
no,
beginning.
it's okay. In just a second, I'm gonna come back to it because you gave the really high view, kind of like Wodify was born when a man and woman
Yeah.
came together, and you talked to me about the love of the couple that made it, of the baby. But before we go there, and these numbers aren't exactly right, but around 2014 when I was at CrossFit HQ, we had like our heyday. We had our heyday. And then in 16 we had a little bit, maybe 2013 we had our heyday. And by heyday, the four, big metrics might be participation in the open, a number of new affiliates signing up, retention of affiliates, and seminar sales. Those were like the four really like high level metrics you might look at. And then maybe 14, 15, and 16, they started coming down. And then in 17 and 18, we had a massive surge with games ticket sales again, affiliates signing up, and at level one sales, mostly because of the great work I did in media. I'll give myself 99%
Yeah.
credit for that. And there was this whole program that I implemented. We launched the podcast. We killed that year. Media team was humming. The one code we never crack, Brendan, is affiliate retention. That
Affiliate
was
affiliates
retention.
retention or
Yes,
retention
not
of affiliates.
retention of affiliates. So what's interesting is you're saying like one of the values, big picture values of Wodify is if a gym implements it, they get they get a greater buy-in and a greater connection to the gym. One of the examples you gave is
Yep.
they're not only there 1 hour a day,
Yep.
but they make other points of contact throughout the day. Um, that was one metric we were never able to really grab and be like, okay, we secured it. We've taken gyms lasting 3 years to 6 years. It was always like, holy shit, you better be signing gyms up quickly, new affiliates, because they're leaving quickly, right? Someone's
Yeah.
3 years and they leave. Is that scalable? What, or is it completely different mindset in your opinion? Is that is there information that you could share to HQ that would help them retain the affiliates? Because you would think if the problem might be where you're fixing it. If the affiliates were retaining clients, then HQ would retain them as affiliates longer.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really interesting problem to dig into because I think the first thing you need to do is diagnose, like, are you losing affiliate? Is HQ losing affiliates because they're going out of business or they're de-affiliating? And that's so that would be the first metric
It
that I
might be
would.
the same solution though, right? Just
Yeah,
better comp,
exactly.
better comp. Really quick, I want to tell you one quick story. Don't forget your thought. But one of the things I used to do when I worked at HQ in the early years, 5 and 6, if I had 3 videos made that I was submitting, I wouldn't submit them at the same time. I'd submit one every day, so I would have more communication with Greg and Lauren and Tony.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
that's
mean? I'm
cool.
like, fuck
Yeah.
that. I have an excuse to email them every day. Anyway, go on. So I understand that touch point is important.
Yeah. Well, but and so going back to this, like, if how we can help CrossFit HQ. I mean, we understand and are so appreciative to the CrossFit community. We wouldn't exist as a business without CrossFit, right? So we've always tried to um, support and help grow the community. So back in like 2015, we had a gym under our office in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, and we tried to become an affiliate, but they didn't let us. They're like, "All right, that's fine."
Oh, why not?
I don't know, just some, I don't know, maybe they thought we were trying to like figure out what they were doing on the affiliate side and maybe copy it, even though we just wanted to have a CrossFit gym. But it was still an awesome gym.
Wow. Okay,
um,
that's bizarre. Okay.
so then in 2020 or 21, I forget, I think it was October 2020, um, Rosa bought the company and they moved their office to Boulder, Colorado. And I'm out in Denver and I was like, hey guys, let us come show you what you just bought. Like, let us show you all of the data of these gyms because we've got a massive sample size. We understand, average retention rates and revenue and all these other things. So we're and I'll do that with the next ownership group and with the ownership group after that, and however we can help. And we're not selling our data; we're just going and showing it to them and trying to help. And so I think there's definitely some ways for them to, uh, for us to partner with CrossFit and try to help them improve those retention rates. I think it's not just like implementing a tool like Wodify. It's, the owner has to be bought into this idea that I understand the KPIs of my business and I'm going to do something to try to move the needle on them. One of the things we do in our sales process is one of the first questions we just ask people is like, well, what's your current retention rate? Most gym owners have no idea. So it's
Yeah.
getting better. Like
Yeah.
in the,
Yeah.
in the past few years, it's for sure changed. But I think from CrossFit side, they could understand the macro trends from our data, and then there's probably not a like one size fits all solution to why those affiliates are leaving. But if they got better at improving affiliate retention, I'm sure it would improve their retention of affiliates.
And no matter what anyone says why they're de-affiliating, if they were being successful, they
Yeah,
probably wouldn't de-affiliate. You could come up with 100 reasons. I don't like this person. I don't like that person. I don't like what they did. But if their business is killing,
yeah,
um,
for sure.
you said something interesting. That the success of Wodify obviously is thankful for the success of CrossFit, and that low barrier of entry to becoming an affiliate, right? Take the level
Yeah,
1 and you can start teaching CrossFit, pay for an affiliate fee, and you can actually start advertising that you're teaching CrossFit in a location. Is that, does that make you nervous when they raise the barrier of entry at all? Or do you have any concerns about that? Like when they raise the affiliate fee or make it so the level 2 is mandatory?
yeah, that's a good question. I mean, it doesn't. I wouldn't say it makes me nervous. I think the barrier is still appropriate for anyone who's serious about starting a business. I think if that barrier changes your mind about opening and running a business, then it probably um, isn't something you should do anyways.
Okay.
But it's still such an amazing model. I mean, the other barriers out there are in a different league. So I think CrossFit's still done an amazing job at creating this path towards entrepreneurship that is still rooted in a broader community and a broader kind of methodology. And I haven't seen anything else like it. I think it's awesome, and the barrier is still uh, approachable. And I think we'll continue to see people kind of launch businesses from that.
Uh, Going back to, what is Wodify?
Yeah.
I wanna so someone like my son can use Wodify, or Andrew Hiller or Mayhem can use Wodify to come up with their own programming and
Yeah.
and bring it to market. That's one of the things.
For sure. And that was kind of, we stumbled into that. Like we never designed our product to do that. But so if we go back to Wodify kind of created digital performance tracking in the gym. It from 20, call it like 13 to 16, we had all these customers and they loved using Wodify, but what they asked, they were using Wodify and let's just pick on MindBody a little bit, but there were a few others and say they were using MindBody and Wodify. And they didn't want to have people processing their memberships and everything in one system and then tracking their workouts in another system. So what we've done since then is we built the most robust all-in-one platform for a gym to run their entire business on one system. So everything from the boring stuff like processing payments and managing memberships and holds to class scheduling and appointment scheduling to marketing automation to digital performance tracking and workouts. And what we realized accidentally is because we were doing workout programming digitally, you didn't have to be in the gym. And so we had companies like the coolest one for us was street parking. Like street parking started on Wodify and just blew up. And we're like checking our system one day and we're like, oh, this gym has, 5,000 members. That's interesting. Oh, this gym has 10,000. And so then you look into it and you're like, oh, they're just using our app to deliver content to people around the world with a
Yeah.
leaderboard and a community. So it's been really cool to see how when you build robust software, people pick it up and do stuff with it that you never imagined. And we have tons of examples from that, but digital programming is one where we never built the tool to do that. And then we had companies, we have tons of companies that don't even have a physical location.
This is boy, we're really good, all over the place. I hope you're okay with this.
Yeah, no worries.
Someone was telling me the other day, they're like, "Hey, you just have to accept AI is gonna do everything." I'm like, "Okay." And they're like, "So, then what can people offer?" I'm like, "I don't know." And they're like, "Community. AI will never offer community.
Yeah.
So just remember." And then I was thinking, "Oh, I'm glad I got into the podcast space because I have these, several hundred friends that come hang out with me every morning. AI is probably not gonna replace me or these people, and so we have a community here." Um, so then when I think of Wodify, and then of course taking this back to street parking has this immensely successful community. Miranda and Julian have
Yeah.
curated, aggregated, maintained, nurtured. I don't know what words you want to do it, but they seem like the gold standard for community in this space. Is there could someone replicate that? Could someone do that again? Because my buddy Taylor Self has a programming and it's doing extremely well. And I know he is a character in himself and he's like authentic, beyond authentic. He is just, he exudes this um iconic 28-year-old man, going through life, doing things that a lot of 28-year-old men are doing, an entrepreneur, finding a wife, wanting to buy a house, having kids, and yet could there be another street parking? Like,
I
is there
think there
room in
could there could be 1,000 other street parkings. I think
with
they're
that success even? And
I
and
mean,
and then also, do you believe that community will now become king over information? Is that also
y-
something maybe?
yeah, so well, I guess I'll start with that. I think
Okay.
community, and there's something special about fitness too, like those two things together. Um, Community and fitness are, I think, the only solution to our increasingly like tech focused world that we live in. Um, and I'm saying this while on a video call followed by 6 hours after this of more Zoom calls. So like I feel it firsthand. Like my community at the gym I go to every morning, like I'll stick around after class and have a 5-minute conversation. And that might be the only person that I speak to face until the evening.
Wow.
Um and then when I say fitness is part of that, like there's everyone watching, and you probably understand like there's a difference between that like kind of endorphin infused sweaty we just did something together community and going to a coffee shop and like talking to the person in line with you. There's something there that I think is really meaningful. And so yes, I subscribe to that philosophy for sure, that there's still a huge, probably more of a need for that than there was 10 years ago, because we just kind of had community because we didn't have as much technology. So I definitely subscribe to that. And then in terms of the replication of communities like street parking. There's obviously a limit in terms of scale. Like you can't have 1,000 online communities that all have like 1 million people. But often, like the strength of communities can come from how niche they are. So you could have a really, really strong 200-person community because you have some very unique shared interest or characteristics of that community. Like, but there's also broad niches like street parking. Have different programs catered to different groups, and those groups might be huge. I think what I learned from street parking, that if someone was like, oh, I could create an online community. I interviewed Miranda one time, and I think people just think it's simple, like, oh, I'll publish workouts online and then I'll like maybe run Facebook ads and get people to sign up. And I talked to Miranda and I was like, she's obsessed with her community. Like she thinks about like she talked about, I think at the time it was your 25th class, you get a t-shirt. And I was like, oh,
Mm.
cool, t-shirt, 25th class. What else do you do? And she was like, no, 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 no. She's like, that's what matters. You give people something. So it's just like every piece of your community and the Facebook group and the in-person events and the summer camps, the content you're putting out every day. Like if you're not obsessed with that, we've had 99 street parkings that haven't been as successful. We've had a couple,
Mhm.
we've had others that are really successful, but that's probably the difference I see is one, you have to really understand your niche and your community. It can't just be like, well, I can create workouts for anyone looking to get fit. Like the best communities are started with this kind of like most focused and powerful shared connections. And then you just have to be obsessed about every piece of it. It's not just the workouts, it's the content, it's the online forums, it's the day-to-day communication, it's the in-person meetups, it's all those other elements.
It fascinating you say that. I was speaking to someone over at Metfix a couple days ago, and I was like, "Hey, just so you know, the success of CrossFit was the obsession." And
Yeah.
sometimes I forget that. Like when you told me, I had that. It was like like when you have these realizations and you've had them 1,000 times, it feels like the first time. When you said that, it felt like the first time again too. Y- Yeah, she was all in. He was
Yeah.
obsessed, and in the beginning days of, CrossFit, everyone there was completely obsessed. I
Yeah.
I don't think I think that's the problem with, private equity or, like I think that would be probably the biggest problem HQ has right now. Like, there was a time when every single person who worked at HQ woke up and was like, "Holy shit, I need to get to work as fast as I can. I can't wait to do what I'm supposed to do today." And I don't know if you can have that when private equity owns your company because everyone feels like they have ownership.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's like ownership matters. And I think that in this community has become very apparent because it might not have been obvious until you have different ownership and you realize like it,
Yeah.
it does make a difference. And it's just from a practical standpoint, it's kind of just the incentive structure. Like there's nothing evil about private equity or venture capital, but you just have to understand the incentive structures. Like they exist as a business to invest and grow and earn a return on that investment. And that creates an incentive structure that sometimes is actually aligned really well with the market and the needs of the customers, but it's just a different kind of mission. And often it's actually not aligned completely with the kind of activities that create obsession internally and create a really positive culture internally. Um, yeah,
You might have I don't know shit about computers or programming, but I'm guessing let's say there's a guy at Wodify who came up with this idea for he's like, "Hey, I have an idea. I'm gonna put a switch in here that allows people to turn on and off buying a t-shirt at their
yeah,
25th event." And everyone's like, "Okay." And so he goes home, he figures out how to put that switch in there, and then a week later, someone's like he launches it. That whole thing is his baby. It's his idea. He got to watch it launch. He got to watch it go into the real world. There weren't like 50 corporate guys and 200 meetings he had to have to do it. Do you know what I mean? It,
yeah,
those are the kind of things at at a startup when people are obsessed and they feel like they have ownership that they get the most. I think that they get the most reward from more so than um, any amount of incentive in terms of money. So like when I first started working at CrossFit was when video first came to the internet, and it was crazy that I could make a video and CrossFit would publish it for me in like 200 people would see it. I mean, because before that, you had like there was CBS, NBC, and ABC,
Yeah.
and then all
Yeah.
of a sudden, and then this company had this built-in audience, and so maybe I'm wrong, but I think that incentive from fast-growing companies or really successful companies has to be that incentive can't be monetary. It has to be something deeper, like just personal, crazy fulfillment. And it's interesting when you said obsessed. My buddy Taylor Self is obsessed. Andrew Hiller is obsessed. Like there's no compartmentalizing their lives. It's all one. You know what I mean? If
Yeah.
Andrew's wife is he makes videos, right, and shares content. If his wife is having surgery, he turns that into content.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If Taylor's going on vacation, he's showing you how to do a workout in a hotel room.
Yeah.
Right?
I love
It's
that.
not like, "Hey, I'm on vacation." It's all, um, it's all obsession. Yeah,
Well,
that
yeah, that idea of like one of the phrases I that's resonated with me a lot is part of an organization that I joined out of college had these kind of like value statements or credos, and one of them was value creation is how I measure achievement. And I think that idea of entrepreneurialism and ownership, and yeah, if you have an idea, own it and bring it to life and take responsibility, does create a ton of meaning. And unfortunately, a lot of people like have transactional careers where they don't get to even have the opportunity to experience that. And so I've tried to foster that
mm,
culture at Wodify. And personally, like I experienced it. Uh, a f- I think it was 5 or 6 years ago. We launched our workout marketplace, and so our workout marketplace is where other gyms can buy programming from some of the best programmers in the world, like Mayhem and NC Fit. And we launched it because I was out at NC Fit. I did a workout with Jason. He was like, dude, we need to sell our programming to other gyms, but we don't have like an easy way to do that. Can Wodify pre-populate that? And we just went back and we brainstormed as a team, and I was like, we need to do that. That's a huge opportunity. And I think like 6 weeks later, we had their programming
wow,
subscribing to gyms. And I was in our Philly
wow.
office, which was still being built out. We filmed a video with Jason promoting it. And it was like that night at like midnight, me and a few other people were eating sushi, signing people up and setting up their subscriptions in our thing. Cause we're like, all these people want the programming. And we were literally just like setting them up on the back end, subscribing them to the workouts. And a week later, I called this gym owner to get a testimonial, and she started tearing up on the phone because I was looking for like, oh, I like buying my workouts, and she was like, I get to spend my Sundays with my family now because I don't have to program for 4 hours on Sundays. And so that whole experience of like entrepreneurialism, but also when we do create value, it's really impactful because it's changing these gym owners' lives. It's not creating value at a company that's optimizing digital advertising where it's like, oh, you can see how that's still value, but it's like, you know. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's been
6
awesome.
weeks is crazy. Crazy fast. I mean, the
Yeah.
stories that I hear, I mean, a few years ago, I had a buddy when Rosa bought the company working in the media department, and he said that they would debate the color of the jump rope that the person was gonna use in the video for 2 weeks. And like, no shit.
There's a lot. Well, so here's another,
It's
and
like
it gets
it's
it
I'm
does
like
it
and he talks to me about meetings and shit that they have. I'm like, "Meetings? Like, we never had meetings the first 15 years."
yeah.
Like, people were
I mean,
doing shit.
it's been one of the challenges to maintain as our company has grown for sure, because there are trade-offs. We're an 85-person company now, but
Wow.
yesterday, John Franklin from Two Brain Business emailed me, and he was like, hey, the Two Brain Summit 2026 is sponsorships are live. Like, here's all the packages. It's a new venue, so there's new booths. How do you want to show up? And I think 3 or 4 hours later, I emailed him and signed the contract. And that's because we have a a great director of brand and communications who I slacked. We hopped on a Zoom. We made a quick decision, and so it's hard to maintain that, but it's makes work more fun.
It's doable. And, that's a trusting relationship, right? Like, trust is crazy that
Yeah,
you probably have with Two Brain.
yeah.
Oh, sorry. Let's take a small break in the show. Sevi. Oh, this guy has a beard and a dog in his car. Towel on the seat, though, kinda pussy, but maybe it's a puppy. Let's see. I judge everything by the way it looks. Sevi, I'm late and starting from the beginning. I appreciate that. I always start from the beginning too at 1.5 time. Milwaukee Electric tools will far outperform the gas. Wow, and I wanna hear biased opinions about electric because I don't wanna mix gas. I highly recommend the electric. Okay, alright. Thank you. I'm easily swayed to electric. I just wanna plug a battery in. Mixing gas. Oh my goodness. 85 people's crazy. Let me ask you this, you were also promoted from within. I also think it's a huge mistake to bring people, in companies. I know this is a sweeping generalization, but from the outside. Uh, I
Yeah.
get so
I
here's my
mean,
thought. You bring
you
someone
gotta
from
bring some people from the outside, but
you bring but well, I mean, into leadership positions. So
yeah.
here's my 2 thoughts about, leadership. You bring someone from the outside, they really will have no fucking idea what's going on, and they may never know what's fucking going on. They may never ever like, I don't think anyone who comes from the outside of CrossFit will ever actually know what CrossFit is. I just don't. It's just
Mhm.
it's too hard because you'll always think that, like, you're supposed to be selling something. And personal accountability and personal responsibility and, protecting the brand is way different than marketing. That being said, when you do, elevate someone from the inside, sometimes the older employees don't respect them. So taking control and getting leadership is hard because they know you as the guy that they used to just drink milkshakes with in the break room. You know what I mean? But you were there for 5 years before you
Yeah.
became the CEO, right? What do you think the overall between me and you, no one's listening. What do you think the overall, thought from the employees? Are they glad that they didn't just find some Stanford MBA to come and do it? They found a guy who actually knows the company?
Um, I hope so. I think I have tried to earn the respect and the trust of our team throughout my entire career at Wodify. I don't think I dramatically changed my approach the day I announced that I was becoming CEO, and I think that makes a big difference. I also remember, like what you're saying, like I remember it was probably 6 months into Wodify, I stepped into a role where I was managing our whole marketing team, and I had never managed someone with children before. And that was a really interesting moment for me
You're
where I
like,
was
"You
like,
suck. Get your
it
priorities straight."
it's a no, it's like it's a big responsibility, and I take a lot of ownership. Like, I take that really seriously. I'm like, "We're not playing." This isn't like a game, and if I'm leading people and especially anyone really, but you start thinking about it differently when you're like, you're leading people with families. My decisions have an impact on them, my leadership style has an impact on them, and so I think throughout my entire career at Wodify, I've tried to take the same approach of like, I wanna be in the trenches with people, I want to give them respect and challenge them, and earn their respect by making hard decisions for our business and being transparent when we make mistakes or just being transparent with our strategy. Um, and I'm super grateful for Meet for giving me the opportunity to grow from within. A lot of it happened, when I interviewed at Wodify, I was coming from a background of starting my own company, and I thought I felt like I knew a lot that other people didn't know because I had started my own company. And I interviewed at like 5 companies and I didn't even get past the first round of most of them. They're like, you don't have like 5 years of marketing experience. And so I had this like moment of, oh my God, what did I do with my life? Like, I can't even go get a job. Like, and I met Amit and I got coffee with him. And I remember just telling him my story. And he was the one who was able to see like, oh, you know how to solve problems and be entrepreneurial. I don't even think Wodify had a marketing position open. It was just like, come in, we'll find something for you. And
Right.
so if I didn't have the kind of support and belief from him, and then just the support from the entire team company for the rest of the years, I wouldn't be in the position I'm in today.
Hey, Greg used to do that. That's how he used to hire. "Hey, that's a really good person. Let's find something for them."
Yeah.
I mean, and it was crazy, and if you found good people, th they knew how to fit in. Hey, did you ever go through, when I was first made media director at CrossFit, I thought being nice and helping people was king. And then finally, after watching Dave Castro operate, I realized direction is king. Like, give people really like they don't give a fuck if you're nice or not at the end of the day. They want like the hard workers want directions and then they want to just go get fulfilled by completing the task at hand. Did you go through anything like that where like you thought like were you ever too nice in the beginning? Like you were trying to appease everyone and it was getting in your way, and then you're like, wait, what people really want is they want to know where the bone is so they can go start digging.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good insight. I think, I mean, there's probably that there's so much change and evolution you go through and so many mistakes you make. I think that I've tried to shift my mindset into something that's a combination of like direction, giving people kind of autonomy and responsibility, so they
Mm-hmm.
can feel like they're in control of their own destiny a little bit, and
Yep.
they control the outcome. I think that's a big piece of it. And then the other biggest, or another huge piece of my responsibility is just to surround good, talented people with other good, talented people who care. There's nothing that kind of is more disheartening to see than a team of four awesome, really hardworking people, and maybe one person who's not a great fit, and that ruining all of those people's experience. And so, as a leader at the company, it's my job to try to make sure all of those teams are cohesive and working together, and they enjoy the people that are shoulder to shoulder with them every day.
Yeah. Uh, I had a buddy who worked at Microsoft, and they promoted someone in their pod who everyone knew hated their job and was looking for another job as their boss. And he was like, he said it just killed the
Yeah.
like the motivation for everyone. They're like, wait a second, this person fucking hates their job and doesn't want to be here, but they just got promoted.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Wodify's had an interesting cultural journey, and we're definitely not a, we're not a perfect company by any means, but my, like, 2nd day, a few people took me out to lunch as, like, new hire, and there were, like, maybe 5 people, and most of the conversation was about how they're like, "Ah, you're probably gonna hate it here." Like,
Oh, wow.
and, we had a big cultural kind of challenge that took us years and years, and we're still a work in progress. But that, yeah, we've gone through the highs and lows of uh, solid culture, work in progress culture, a terrible culture, and we're just trying to get better every day.
Someone asked me the other day, who would put a bid into CrossFit to purchase it. They said, "Hey, what would be the first thing you would do?" I said, "I would fire every single fucking person who doesn't wake up in the morning, who's just super excited to go to work." I go,
Yeah,
you might have one person left, but but I mean, y I think you nailed it. That when everyone's excited to be there, everything gets elevated.
yeah. I mean, we do things like 90 days into your job at Wodify, we'll make you. We got this from Zappos. We'll make you an offer. So we'll be like, hey, we'll give you 3 months severance if you want to leave. If this wasn't a good fit, like I try
Oh, that's
to,
cool. That's really
yeah,
cool.
like I don't want anyone. It's because it goes both ways. It's not about firing them because they're bad for the company. I mean, that's part of it, but it's also like I people spend a third of their life at work, and I
Wow.
don't want anyone to have a job that they wake up to every day that they're, no one, or a lot of people might not like love their job every day. I'm not, jaded by this idea that like if you're, working on our customer success team every morning, you're like, yes, I get to go in. But over the weeks and months, you should have that feeling. Like
Right.
you should find meaning in your work and fulfillment in your work. And so if you don't, then I hope that you can, go find that somewhere else.
Working at CrossFit for me, I was always like, "Hey, I'm so proud to tell my kids what I do." I basically save people's li I empower people. Working at CrossFit, I think you can say, "Hey, you empower people to take control of their lives and save their lives and add days longer onto their lives." And, like, at the end of the day what would be more value? I don't know, being an ambulance driver and saving people when they're at their lowest point? I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that the industry we're in is one of the big levers on planet Earth.
Yeah. Well, and it's similar. I mean, we think about it in a similar way. We're one step removed, but if we are the best partner we can be to our customers, we are having a direct impact on those people as entrepreneurs in their lives,
Mm.
and on the millions of individuals that they're impacting. And we get glimpses of that. I'm fortunately in a position where I actually get to go visit and spend a lot of time with gym owners. It's challenging for certain teams, and it's like you're an engineer on our team, how often do you actually get to like experience that firsthand? But we just try to do a good job of communicating it and bringing it back to our team around like, hey, this hard work we're doing does have a really meaningful purpose in the world.
If I bought I when I talked to Chris Cooper, I've asked him this question, like, I think every time he's been on the air, and I'll ask you, if I'm about to open a gym, do I start with Wodify? And I would ask Chris Cooper, do I start with Two Brain or do I wait 2 years? Like, when
Oh
some
no, start with one. Yeah,
so
yeah.
start with it right off the bat.
Yeah, start with it like 60 days before you open your doors. So you can get organized from a tech standpoint, get everything set up, and you can do pre-sales. And you want a system. Wodify is like a system of record for your business. And so if you don't start with Wodify, then what happens is you might switch a year or two in and you might lose some data of your business from the early days, and then you won't have. So like we've had customers that have been with us since 2012, and not only do they have a record of their business's financial performance and all their KPIs over time, but they also have athletes who have 12 years of performance tracking data, and it's like awesome. Yeah, there's so to answer your question, start from day one.
And does Wodify actually, it does everything? So it tracks people's workouts, it tracks how much they pay every month, it processes their credit cards, it it puts up the, if you have a monitor in there, the workouts there, like, it's everything.
Yeah.
You don't need any
Yeah.
others, you don't need any other software or anything if you're gonna run a gym?
No, I mean most gyms have we try to consolidate gym owners' tech stacks as much as possible because that has cost efficiencies and it just means you're not logging into 10 different systems. But
Right.
obviously you're probably gonna have like, you know, a Spotify account and a QuickBooks account and we'll have like integrations for those. But in general, like we want to be the single kind of core piece of your business. Um, and so we keep adding features. One of the ways we measure the success of our features is like, were they able to cancel another subscription by implementing
Mm,
this feature?
mm.
And so that's yeah, that's is for sure part of our mission. And when you think about like how we're able to do that, we've done the math. We spend more on product and engineering than any of our competitors because we're not because we're bootstrapped and we just like we're a product led company. So like we run at a profit and we when we grow we just reinvest it and we often hire more product and engineering folks. Obviously that's balanced out with customer success and marketing and sales, but as a percentage we're just super product and engineering focused. And we've done the math and since we started we spent over $100 million on our product. So when you log into Wodify, you're paying us $200 or $300 a month, and you're getting access to $100 million piece of enterprise software, so you can run your gym. Like
Wow.
that's awesome, right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's like and some of the features that I get excited about are like we're giving our customers like our reporting feature. You can build custom reports. That we have a business intelligence team, like 4 data scientists who are geniuses. They're the ones who put together the our data for the state of the industry that you went over with Chris Cooper. Remember
Yep,
that report
yep,
every year? So we do
yep.
that every year with them. So these like genius data scientists that just work at Wodify. Yeah, exactly. And they built this custom reporting that's super you can basically take any piece of data in your Wodify system, create custom reports around that, and our customers have access to that for $200 a month. It's awesome. $300 a month. So part of uh, our reason for growing as a bootstrapped company, you could be like, well, then why do you care about like investing in sales and marketing and growing? It's because when we grow, we get to spend that money on making a better product for everyone. So it's in all of our customers' best interest for us to keep growing too.
It was interesting that it's funny that you said, well, we don't do music, we don't do Spotify. That's funny. That shows how ambitious you guys really are to be the all-in-one. Because I would never think that, you would provide music, but that's really some fringe shit. And then the QuickBooks thing, but I'm guessing, because if you do use Wodify, your taxes are sure as hell a lot easier to do at the end of the year, and if you ever wanna sell your gym, showing
Yeah.
your books is, like, easy peasy.
And we have a QuickBooks integration, so you can automatically sync it up to QuickBooks. Yeah, there's. I mean, I think one of the things I've realized working with a lot of gym owners and talking about Wodify is like I, as you can tell, get excited about some of the stuff I'm talking about. I think most gym owners Don't. Like, they did not start a gym to become experts at implementing their gym management software. Like, I
Right.
totally get that.
Right.
But just like there's probably an analogy to training where, like, if you work on your weaknesses and if you work on the things that are kind of like the unsexy parts of the business, it's going to unlock a better business for you. And you're going to see the results and rewards of that. And I was just 2 weeks ago, I was at the Two Brain Summit and I was talking to one of our customers who definitely falls in this category. And she learned about some of our new features and was getting excited. And she came up to me afterwards and showed me her calendar. And she was like, "So on Tuesday, I'm training in the morning, and then I blocked off 3 hours, and I'm just going to sit down at my computer and I'm going to learn Wodify and I'm going to explore the features I don't use." And I was like, "Hell yeah, that's awesome."
Yeah. Um, coach told me the other day about how they love coaching. They absolutely love coaching. They love the clients, but they hate doing the warm up with the classes, and they prefer that someone else did the warm up, and then they came in and actually did the coaching, like helped them with like movement patterns and how to get through the workout. And I was like, wow, that's really specific
Yeah,
what you like. But yeah, I fully get it. No one's opening a gym and they're like, oh my god, I'm so excited to use my gym
yeah,
software. Hey, what is this thing that's I don't know if you know this, if this is, below your pay grade, but I know Sousa's, like, doing backflips over there, like, he's really upgraded his gym with a bunch of Wodify stuff. Are you familiar with what's going on over there? Like,
yeah,
they put
for
they
sure.
put the monitors up.
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
going is that crazy expensive to do that for someone to do what he's doing?
No, I mean, we created a world today in which most functional fitness or CrossFit gyms, whether they're using Wodify or not, that you walk into, have some form of digital experience. And so it's it's an investment, just like your equipment and your, supplies and anything else you have. I think that we've seen, small kind of mom and pop style gyms that might not have a huge customer base, all the way up to enterprise style gyms implement hardware solutions. So I don't think it's cost prohibitive, and I think it's a really important part of like uh, connecting the whole experience. So you're not just using pieces of the software, but if you can give them the full experience, that's where you're really going to get the most engagement.
So it's possible for someone who doesn't have a insane gym and is driving an Escalade to work to have a big screen TV with the workout on there and a place for people to sign up, and it's all integrated, and their shit looks like it's in the 21st century.
Yeah, I mean, this has been going back, to 2012, but since then, I mean, you can order a TV on Amazon for like 300, $400.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I think the hardware investment is, again, the parallels like equipment. You might not think twice about getting a new rower or another new piece of equipment for your gym, but yeah, and think about that when someone walks into your gym, they want to see nice equipment, but there's also something when you have a really nice looking digital setup and maybe you're giving them a tour of the gym and you can show them that and you can also show them like our app, you can show them all the features you're going to get. Well, I think a lot of gym owners, if you went and asked their athletes if they're not using Wodify what software they use to run the gym, they might be like, I don't like that thing that bills me every month. But if you go in a Wodify gym, the ones that are doing it best,
yeah.
they often sell Wodify as part of the value proposition of their gym. Some owners will implement Wodify and increase their price by 10 or $20 a month because their clients now
Hmm.
have access to Wodify. It's a value add for those members of the gym.
There is some I saw some crazy stat, um, about retention. People, there is a direct it's not even a correlation. Well, maybe it is a correlation, but people who use Wodify have higher retention than people who don't, right? What do you remember that number off the top of your head?
Yeah, we looked at gyms that use Wodify and implement performance tracking, and there was a 20% improvement in retention.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, again, our incentives are aligned. The number one reason we lose customers is they go out of business. And so we designed features to improve their operational efficiency so they have more time and improve retention so they have stronger businesses and improve lead conversion rates. So we're, thinking about the same problems as gym owners. We're just solving it from a different angle.
The number one reason people go out of business is because they lose customers. Makes perfect.
No, no, no. The number one reason we lose customers is they
Oh,
go out of business.
oh, well, okay. So, right, right. Okay, so could you also say that the number one reason gyms go well, yeah, I guess, yeah. That
Yeah.
makes sense too. Yeah, it goes that way. If gyms lose customers, they go out of business. And so your goal, obviously, for you to stay in business is aligned perfectly with theirs, which is retention.
Yeah.
I think it was Craig Howard I was speaking to once, and he had 600 members at his gym, and I was like, "Oh, that's awesome." And he goes, "But think of it this way, dude. If we lose 2% of our customers every month, that's 12 people I have to onboard every month." And I was like, "Holy
Yeah.
shit." And so, the more successful you have, it's even more vital, I guess, the retention you have, because it takes a lot
Yeah.
of resources to onboard people.
And retention is what builds a long-term sustainable and profitable business. If you looked at the case studies, and most CrossFit gyms actually do a great job of this compared to the general fitness industry. But if you like, were you familiar with the Exponential Fitness? Like a year or two ago, they had that controversy. So Exponential Fitness owns a bunch of boutique concepts, and they franchise them. So like Row House and Pure Bar and Cycle Bar, and they're really really good at marketing and lead gen. And so it's kind of like it masks a retention problem. And there was this controversy where I think they were actually doing some illegal shit. But like basically those businesses, people were buying them as franchises, spending their life savings to open them, and they
Mm,
would look really good because you would like pre-sale 100 memberships, you would sign up like 30 members a month, and like a year or two later they would go out of business because there was just they weren't keeping any of them around.
mm. Not that there was any illegal shit going, not that part, but that was the hard part about affiliates too, because people would open an affiliate, they'd be super passionate, they would be so excited, they knew that they had the cure for the world's most vexing problem, but man, keeping the doors open for beyond 3 years was just
Yeah.
passion wasn't enough.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And there's no like we use the saying sometimes, like there's no passion without profit. Like you can't um you can't keep maintain your passion and serve more people without having an understanding of the economics of your business and having a profitable and sustainable business. It just doesn't work. Um yeah.
Dude, I'm embarrassed to say I forget the gentleman's name, but he worked at Wodify, and I had him on here a couple months
John.
ago. John, thank you.
Yeah.
And John was telling me, people who use it, like, unconventionally, Wodify. Are there any stories that stand out to you? Like, someone who was like, "How to Train Your Pig," and it was like a 50-day course, or do you have any stand out to you? You're like, "Oh, this is really cool."
I mean, there's some fun ones like the online programming's been cool because that is it just seems really cool communities that never would have existed without it. There's businesses like we had like a lightsaber academy, dog walking business. There's businesses where I didn't even know that was a business. They use
Yeah,
Wodify.
yeah,
Um, and then there's also like we got into heavily into jujitsu 2 or 3 years ago, and
okay.
so that's been
Is
awesome.
Amit into jujitsu? Is that why?
Well, Amit is into jujitsu or
Oh,
used to be into jujitsu,
yeah.
but it was more like we saw, just like online programming, we saw a bunch of jujitsu gyms start to use Wodify. And we
Mm,
were like, there's an interesting crossover between CrossFit and jujitsu. And
mhm.
so we saw more jujitsu gyms start to use Wodify, and we got involved and started spending more time with them and realized like, oh, there's a huge opportunity to build better software for this market and add some features and also leverage what we've done in CrossFit to do different things in jujitsu. So historically, jujitsu's talk about a businesses that are retention experts. Like I remember my like second month doing jujitsu, I was trying to do this. I forget the move, trying to do some move, and the instructor came up to me after class and was like, "Oh, Brendan, like great job working on that. Keep like here's a few tips, and you'll probably get it in like 2 or 3 years." And I was like, but that's because the mindset and the retention genius of jujitsu is just a different it's like you're on a 10, 20, 30-year journey.
Right.
And so and so they figured out a lot of things around retention, but compared to where CrossFit's gotten, they were a little bit more behind on the tech side. And so we went in and we're like, hey, you guys can start doing more digital content and use kind of our performance tracking system for jujitsu schools. And it's been awesome to see. Like there's this gym in Philly, one of our first partners, it's called JiuJitsu Company, and like yeah, people can check out their social media to see examples of this. Like they are the future of jujitsu schools. Like they have techniques playing on TVs in their gyms. They do online content through our app, and it creates an even better experience without losing their like core beliefs around jujitsu.
It, it really jujitsu is really weird like that. The challenges are immense because you can bring someone to a CrossFit gym and in, 6 weeks they could have a whole body composition change, right? And
Yeah.
they could be like, they can't deadlift 65 pounds on the first day, and 6 weeks later they're deadlifting 200 pounds, and they're like, holy shit, you can see these monumental leaps. And jujitsu is a trip. And you've seen other martial arts kind of ruined by it. Taekwondo, like there's Taekwondo gyms everywhere. In 4 years, you can get a black belt.
Yeah.
But Brazilian jiu-jitsu gyms, for the most part, if they keep the standard, man, the progress is so slow. And and
Yeah.
and the injury rates are so high. I don't mean that in a negative way. It's a challenging sport,
Yeah.
you're going in there and fighting people and getting beat up. Yeah, that's
And
crazy. That would be a cool one to crack the code on retention for that.
well, and it's been what we tried to do is implement software and features in a way where we're able to, because we have this perspective, borrow some of the best practices and turn them into features other people can use. So we built our progressions feature, which is like belt tracking for jujitsu, in a way where now tons of CrossFit gyms use it to do milestone based, like committed club style programs. And so you can have, you don't need to call it a belt, but you can have progression systems for CrossFit, because we learned and built that for jujitsu. And then, yeah, the other interesting thing about jujitsu is like, a lot of people, like something I hear from CrossFit gym owners is people are intimidated by like barbells. There's like this
Mhm.
intimidation factor. You go into a jujitsu school and you like walk into a class of 40 people, and it's like, pick a partner, they're gonna beat the shit out of you and sweat
Yeah. This
sweat in your
sweaty
mouth.
bearded man
And
is gonna
I'm
lay
like,
on you.
that's into at least,
Yeah.
in a
Yeah.
CrossFit gym, you're just like maybe embarrassed or don't know what you're doing, but you're not like
Yeah.
affecting other people. I remember one of my first jujitsu classes, I was like, is this like guy okay with me like straddling him, just
Yes.
wrestling him to the
Yes.
ground?
Anything else? Is there anything just really weird? Is it, on Wodify? Like anything that you can think of, you're like, wow, like in a million years, I never saw that. Because when I think of it, I'm like, man, you could put anything on there. Like I know
Yeah,
sourdough bread baking's huge now, and I was like, man, someone could do 50 days of different sourdough breads to make, or like
yeah,
it seems like it would be feasible to use it for anything.
yeah. No, I mean,
Bring
let me see if
anything to market.
yeah, I mean, if you think about, if you abstract it, it's like you're able to have customers and deliver content to them. So I would love, I mean, if there's anyone in the chat that's using it for an interesting reason, let us know. But the other thing I've seen is just less business types and more interesting ways CrossFit or Jiu-Jitsu or other businesses are using our features. So I've seen everything from, like, we have this feature called Week Streaks, which shows you, as long as you do one class a week, you keep your streak alive. And when
Oh,
we
oh,
launched it, we backdated the data, and we thought we made a mistake because there were people with 400 plus week streaks,
wow.
right? And
That
so
That's brilliant. Someone was telling me that Snapchat has something like that. I don't use Snapchat, but it's
yeah,
some feature, like if you talk to a friend every single day, you keep the streak alive and it tracks it. And so
yeah.
that's how they encourage you
Well, yeah, so
to
it's
use their product.
super, like that gamification's become a buzzword, but it's gamification, and it has, like, there's plenty of studies and psychology experiments around like the power of that. And
Yeah.
so we launched this feature and we were like, oh shoot, we did something wrong, because there's 25 people that have 7-year plus week streaks. And
Uh-huh.
we called them and we called the gym and they're like, yeah, we're coming here every week for 7 years. And we were like, holy shit, that's awesome. So sometimes there's like these hidden things in our data that we build
Yeah.
features around, and we're like,
When you release something, and it's new, do you look around and you're like, "Shit, it's only a matter of time before someone copies us?" Like, is it
yeah,
is it base is it really hard to stay in the forefront because there's your competitors and you guys are always just copying? I mean, I don't mean that in a pejorative or negative way either, it just is what it is, right? You launch something and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna do that too."
yeah, I mean, that happens for sure. It's not that hard, and it's becoming easier every day to build software and build features. We, one, are taking this super long term approach. So we're, again, going back to our ownership and our structure, we're like looking 5, 10 years out. We're just like, oh, we're gonna build the next thing, and then we'll, and honestly, if competitors copy us, it's not that, it's probably is good for the whole industry. It's like, cool, there's going to be gyms that don't use Wodify. And if we innovate and develop a feature that's valuable and they copy us, great. More people have that feature. And our bet is that in the long term, if we keep doing the right things and just kind of stay in our lane, that we'll grow and win. And then I think what competitors can't copy is our culture and our team. And going back to that
Yeah.
idea of people who actually care, that's impossible to copy. So
You keep telling stories also about connections that you make with people. So we saw this 7-year person, so we called them to validate it, or we spoke to this gym, or we're friends with
yeah,
Two Brain. Um, I and especially since Amit still owns it, he's probably built a ton of relationships, which are like hugely important. It reminds me of Bill and Katie also over at Rogue, right?
yeah,
They're completely
yeah.
hands-on, they still got the hard hats on, they're not just, sitting in their thrones, they know everyone, they make connections with everyone, they're accessible still to everyone.
Yeah.
So
I
so
mean,
so Go ahead.
it's the same way our customers run their business. Like we've started thinking about our business in a different way, which is we used to call ourselves like B2B software, like business to business. And we're shifting towards using the term B to F, business to founder, because these business owners are not like selling to traditional businesses. They it's their life and they care about the people they serve. And so we try to implement a similar mindset where like we actually care about our customers. And so whether it's me calling someone or like we just signed up a new customer the other day and I have an email that goes out from me to every new customer. It's like, hey, thanks for joining Wodify. We're super happy to have you. Like, let me know how you heard about us and if there's anything we can do better. And they got back to me with this really nice message and they had a cool logo. So I like bought a t-shirt from their online storefront. And they shipped me a t-shirt. And it's just not that hard to do that stuff, but
Right.
you have to like care in order to go out of your way and do it. And our customers, like every interaction I've had, sometimes they're challenging conversations because there might be something that they want us to build or we haven't done right. They might be great conversations, but they're always at kind of a core level positive conversations.
Earlier in the show, you said something about, recalibrating when you realized you were working with people who had kids. Was that because what was the reason for that? The challenges or the thinking of someone people who work for you who have kids? What were some of the what was specifically what changed for you in your perspective of that?
Yeah, I think I went from this mindset of I graduated college. I worked at a company for a few years where we were supporting entrepreneurs, but then I started my own company. And when I did that, my experience was very kind of like I lived in a friend's living room for a few months. I barely took a paycheck. I couldn't afford guacamole at Chipotle, but I love Chipotle, so like I had this experience where I felt like I was sacrificing to build a company. And the difference when I started managing people with kids was like I am now directly responsible for other people's livelihood, which is different. It's like I can go 6 months living in my friend's basement, but I don't want someone else to have to make a just to do anything like that because I kind of made a mistake or led the company in a different direction. And so that was
Okay.
the change for
So
me
you
is like,
you feel the weight of needing to be successful because those people feed their kids with the paycheck
yeah, for sure.
that you're leading the ship to get.
Yeah.
You know what used to piss me off is anyone who wasn't working 24 hours a day. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you're on like, if someone would take a vacation, you'd send them an email and be like, "I'm on vacation, contact this person." Like, if you worked at CrossFit when I worked there and you had that, I hated you. Like, I just
What was your what was your solution to that? How did you
like, I think I got fired eventually. Which is probably better to keep, someone who's like that, who just, wants to work, 24 hours a day and just keep me away from other staff. But, like, I get what you're saying. Um, like, my feeling was there was a tier of employee who it didn't matter if your kid was having a birthday, move the fucking birthday. Like, I
Yeah,
would never when I worked at CrossFit, I would have never attended my kid's birthday over doing something to work for the company. It was just the way I was. I'm not defending it or saying it's right or wrong,
yeah,
but so it put me in conflict with those other people. Like, if Greg needed me to do something on Saturday and that was my kid's birthday party, I'd have my wife move it to Monday.
yeah. different birthday this year, kid.
Yeah, different. Yeah, you got a different birthday this year. Like, because at the end of the day, my logic is like, listen, you know who's paying for that fucking cake? Greg. So,
Yeah.
like, he gets to choose, like, and I wouldn't like tell him or anything, but that was my, but I think he felt the immense pressure that you're saying of the 15,000 gyms that were
Yeah.
paying affiliation fees. I think he lost sleep every single fucking night. Like, that's all he cared about. He didn't care about CrossFitters. He didn't care about the games. He was always, if you were around him, he was always like thinking about those owners, and specifically for what you're saying, because they put their savings into opening a gym, and then they had to feed. It had to work. It had to work, and so he
Yeah.
felt that pressure. I don't think people realize that that comes with being a CEO. Like, you have 85 employees. When you said that, I felt a little stressed for you. I was like, shit, that's a lot of mouths and opinions and people to feed, and that's a lot. It's a big boat.
Yeah. I mean, it's a position of privilege and opportunity. Like, I'm for sure not complaining about it or anything like
No,
that, but
no, and I
it's,
didn't get that. I didn't
um,
get that. You're
yeah,
up for it.
yeah, exactly.
Um, h uh, w is there anyone who's in the space, you know how, like, Pepsi or Coke just tries to buy every single drink? Like, "Oh, your drink's doing," like, if your drink's
Yeah.
doing well, they'll come buy your drink. Is there someone in the gym management software space, who's doing that? Who, like, every,
Yeah.
6 months approaches you and they're like, "We want you."
Yeah, every 2 months.
Every
No,
2 months. Okay.
there's a couple companies. I mean, most gym management software or fitness software related companies that do well get bought within, like, 2 to 4 years. And for
Okay.
us, that's awesome because usually what happens is their innovation just stops and,
Right. Right.
it's good for us. But yeah, there's, for sure, and we talk to, I'll maintain relationships with everyone just because you learn from that. But I remember I went out to lunch with one of those kind of people, and I was really excited because we were releasing a feature. It was Coach View on our mobile app. So we released a feature where on the mobile app, coaches have their own view. And so they can see everyone in the class sorted by the newest people to the gym. And there's all these other little features. But I was just pumped about that. So I went out to lunch with this guy and I was like showing it to him. And I was like, see how cool this is? And look at this little thing we added. And he just could not have cared less. And then he said, how much volume are you processing in payments? And I was it's like a lot, but that's not the point.
Right,
So
right.
there's something that is a little disheartening about it, but it's also motivating because then you go back and you're like, sweet, we're gonna keep building those kind of features that get our customers excited and get us excited. But yeah, there's a handful of companies and there's a lot of roll-ups that happen and companies that don't even exist anymore because they kind of roll them into other companies that they already own.
That's a good sign that you still feel like a little kid, that you still get giddy over that stuff. I mean,
Yeah,
that that's I mean, those are all the best employees. They're so excited that, like in media, someone got new color grading software, and I might not be able to tell how they changed the picture, but they show me, and they're so excited how it looks
yeah.
different. I'm like, awesome.
Like,
I
what's
do,
your
I don't say to them, how many views do you think this is gonna get? Like I'm not shitting on their
yeah.
parade. Yeah. Like,
What's your equivalent? Like a guest you've always wanted to talk to, or I don't know, a comment that takes the interview in a different direction. Like, what's your equivalent of that?
dude, you know truly what it is? It's probably, um, stuff that StreamYard comes out with. So we use this StreamYard platform,
Yeah,
and, like, anything that they can do to make get our message out easier, like, if they integrate, like, "Okay, you can make reels now inside of here, or you can make 20-minute
yeah,
clips," or, like, the big thing now for me is, that I would really like them to figure out is we can't stream to Rumble live and without, like, 5 extra steps, right?
yeah,
Every morning, and so if they could figure out how to do that with one click, like, I don't have to, I just come in here, send you a link, and I work, and everything is already set up on the back end, to do what it has to do to go out to all the different platforms, Twitch or Twitter. But if they could just make it go to Rumble, but they can't, So,
yeah,
um, it's stuff like that, and it's the same thing that we used StreamYard for live streaming, live events now. We took the podcast software and we're like, "Hey, let's take it over to Syndicate Crown or take it to a semifinal and figure
yeah,
out how we can use podcast software to broadcast a sporting event. So it's fun like that, right? Pushing the limits of what they originally made it for. So yeah, just being giddy about that. I have way less on the line. Um, like like if you fail, you have thousands of customers who you hear from. If we fail, it's just like someone on Reddit being like, "You scumbag." You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
but you got a different. I think people like you and Hiller and these content creators have a lot on the line in terms of being the ones who have carried the who've been one, some of the only form of consistency people in this community have been able to have and attach to,
right.
and carried and energized conversation and a message for everyone. So I think, yeah, you might not have software glitches like we do, where it's like, oh my god, today's the code red, but you've got this like existential responsibility,
Right.
whether or not you signed up for that. But that's what you guys have now.
In my mind, if as long as I can be here every morning at 7 and let these people either, beat me or make love to me, it depends on how I'm doing. They'll do both. My barrier to success is for my personal success is so easy. I just have to make sure I show up because that's the commitment they make. So that's the commitment I want to make sure I make. Sick or
Yeah,
not sick or my dog died, like I'm coming. Here we
yeah.
go. We're gonna fucking do this. If um, I'm a gym, I don't have Wodify, I have 90 members, and I'm scared to sign up. Um, but I heard you say the 20% retention thing, and I'm just, like, ecstatic, right? What's that look like? Like, I know that they can use this QR code and get a massive discount now, but what does
Oh,
that look like?
nice.
Do I get to talk to anyone? Do I are there a whole list of videos? I'm just completely ignorant.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, going back to like our human centric, we're trying to be your partner approach. Like you have to talk to someone. So the first thing we do is we have these sales consultation calls. So we just start with understanding your business and your goals and making sure that we're actually going to be a good fit. So we're talking about these different types of businesses that use Wodify, but there are people who come to us and want to use Wodify and will recommend a different software, but like we don't think we're a good fit because what you're trying to do, we could probably convince you to sign up, and a month in you'd be like, wait a minute, I can't do this thing. So the first thing we do is like have a little bit of a consultation process, and people like John and the rest of people on our sales team, like our goal is for you to get value out of that call whether or not you sign up for Wodify. So you're going to talk to
Oh,
someone who's
that's awesome.
consulted thousands of gym owners at this point probably, and everyone on our sales team is connected to fitness, whether they're a coach or they own a gym, or so you're going to get value out of that call, and they're going to really understand your business, and it will probably be the first time in your relationship with Wodify where you're like, oh, I get it, they're on my side, like they're on my team. And then our if you do decide to sign up, there'll be a transition to our onboarding team, and our onboarding team will create a plan with you. They'll set up your account, so you get started with an account that already has some of your information in it. They'll help plan the client transition. They'll help plan a launch date. We have all these materials to help you communicate it to your clients. So it's not, I'm not gonna lie and be like, oh, it's super easy. You'll just like flip a switch and then you'll be live. But it's you'll be heavily supported. We've done it thousands of times, and what'll happen is 9 months from now, you'll pick your head up and you're like, oh my god, I don't know how I was doing that without Wodify, and
Oh.
your business will be growing from there. So
Hey, the cool thing that you said, that really landed on me is, um, you're on their side, and of course you are. You have to your job you're basically a service where your job is they have to see value in your product or they're gonna stop paying you.
yeah, yeah, month
So
to month, no contracts, no commitments. It's like you can cancel at any time.
so you basically are like, "Hey, we're gonna improve your business." I mean, some of the things make you more money, free up time, let you do more of what you want, make you more money, say that twice, and if not, you failed and your business would fail.
Yeah. And the other cool thing we do is we kind of like invite them along for the ride with us as a company. So you buy Wodify and you're paying every month. And again, you can cancel any month, but every 2 weeks, you get new features. Like we release every 2 weeks. And sometimes it's small, sometimes it's huge, but you're buying this thing that's constantly evolving. And I'll do like twice a year, I'll do these webinars that are kind of like board meetings or shareholder meetings with our customers. Cause I'm like, hey, whether or not you realize this when you signed up, you're our investors. Like we talked about not having investors. Like, you guys pay us every month and we invest that money and make decisions around what we're building and the people we're hiring. And so let me tell you how we're spending your money. And so the customers, it's really cool talking to customers that have been with us for like 5 or 7 or 10 years because they've just seen so much. They're like, I'm still with Wodify, but it was a different company 5 years ago. It was a different
Yeah.
product 7 years ago. So you're kind of signing up for this journey with your gym and a piece of technology and a partner that's going to evolve with you.
Are you in a relationship?
I am. I got married last November.
Oh, all right. Sorry, Heidi. I was trying. This is a passionate guy. Your wife's lucky. You're a passionate guy who's got a lot of shit going on, so you probably don't bug her a lot.
I try not to, but she's very supportive.
Yeah, yeah. You need that, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. It's a team effort now.
What city do you live in?
I'm in Denver, Colorado.
Oh, okay. I there's some cities that I don't like. Denver's okay. Get a pass.
You got any
What?
you got any plans to come out to Colorado anytime this summer, winter?
No, I went to, where did I go? I went to Sacramento and Tennessee. I went like 3 hours from home, and then halfway across the country, I am damaged goods. Do you fly very often?
I fly like every week.
Oh man.
I know, I'm getting tired, but you gotta get out there and meet people in person, you know?
What is the on? Do you how many for every flight you do? How often is there a delay? Because I got a buddy, and he still flies a lot. I've known him now, and every week I talk to him, he's on a delay. Like yesterday, his delay was 24 hours. He slept in an airport yesterday. Dave
Yeah,
Castro, slept in a
yeah.
fucking airport. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? You're always delayed.
I get delays all the time.
What's wrong with these people? Do they need
I gave a
Wodify? Do you need to
presentation.
make airport software? Like,
I mean, airports are complicated. No, I have a different perspective on flight delays. I gave a presentation internally about them once, and then I really there was an interview with Alex Honnold. Do you know the climber? He did like
yes,
free
yes,
solo.
yes,
I
yes,
really
yes.
like an interview with him, which was like he was talking about airports are just fascinating because it's this area like where you have this intersection of people who are on different, different journeys through life, there for different reasons. And it's so interesting to watch the human stress in an airport because
Yes.
someone will come on the loudspeaker and be like, "Your flight's delayed," and people will freak out. And and I don't want to diminish like maybe you have a really important life event you're getting to, but the reason I like the Alex Honnold interview is he was just like, people in this airport, it's climate controlled, comfortable little place for them to get on their plane and go wherever they're going, and they get a flight delayed and they act like the world's ending.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
like, you're gonna be okay. Like you're gonna get to where you're going, or you're gonna wake up. So I fly a lot, I get delays all the time, and I am like, there's nothing I can do to control it. So I am usually pretty I don't get that upset with delays.
Do you normally fly by yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you get to the airport really early, or do you get there just on time, or do you have a?
I'm like a 3 hours early for domestic kind of guy.
I've been doing a little bit of traveling with Matt Souza, and he's like, "Can we go early?" And when he said that, I just felt my heart warm for him. The earlier, like, I don't care if I'm waiting 2 hours.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
chilling. I
it's
don't
like
want to
there's
be
no
stressed out.
yeah,
I
you
don't
can
want to be
hang out at
stressed
the
out at all. Yeah,
airport.
yeah,
And the benefits of saving a few minutes, if you do that for like 3 years and you end up missing one flight, I feel like you wipe out all the benefits of
yeah.
all the minutes you saved leading up to it.
It's awesome you said that. Yesterday, one of my sons asked me, "Why are there stupid people?" And I said, "Because they don't know how to think." And I was giving him examples like that of what you said. It's like the person who, this example I give all the time, who drinks half a Coke and then puts it in the refrigerator thinking that they're saving money. But if that Coke spills in there, like,
They
you just
don't know
lost
how
6
to
hou
think.
you
That's
lost
yeah.
6 you lost 6 hours of your life cleaning out the refrigerator
Yeah.
to save 25 cents a Coke. There's no way. I mean, how many Cokes do you have to save before, if you make $100 an hour, every time you put that Coke in there, there's a $600 versus 25 cents of Coke to save. It's like, but
Yeah.
that's like, I like the way, like, you contextualize it and put it in relativity. Like, hey, 2 hours over 6 years, if I don't miss one flight, like, hey, I'm winning.
Yeah. And the mental, I just don't like feeling stressed out when I don't need to.
Yeah,
You can
that's
only feel
awesome.
like so much stress, so it's like one of the things that's I think is interesting is I've seen people who retire and are then stressed about other things. And it's like people need stress in their lives, but they can also only handle so much. So when I think about like going through my day, I try to let nothing but work kind of upset me. Cause then I'm like, okay, I don't need to get upset about the flight delay. I don't need to get upset about, some other little thing in my life because I can only care about a fixed amount of things and get upset
Yeah.
and stressed about a fixed amount of things.
Well, if you use Wodify, you'll have more time to be stressed about other shit.
Exactly.
Explore.
Should be
Yeah,
our new tagline.
boy math. Yeah, yeah, boy math. Yeah. My, I use this tooth powder, Matuthian tooth powder, and it's basically you unscrew this jar on top of the lid, and then there's this jar of powder, and you put your toothbrush in it. And when my kids use it, I'm like, "Hey, dude, before you brush, put the lid on." And they're like, "Why?" I'm like, "Because if you knock that jar off while you goofballs, 3 of you are fighting for space in front of the mirror to brush your teeth." Of course they didn't, and one day it got knocked off, and there was tooth powder everywhere. And I was like, "Oh, see, if you had had the lid on."
Yeah. But you also, I mean, people need to learn, to your point of people like don't know how to think. Sometimes that has to happen. Like you have to
Right,
learn
right.
you have to learn yourself. There's sometimes no replacement from like I have a lot of mentors in my life, but sometimes I'm like I have to just make a mistake and learn. Like that's how I learn stuff when I like make mistakes and then I live with the consequences. And then I'm like, yeah, sure, someone who's been here, done that before could have maybe told me not to go down that path, but there's definitely value in going down that path as
Yeah,
long as you're
yeah.
as long as you learn and adapt afterwards.
I feel like some of those things could give you OCD too. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you ever I don't like, you ever rode a
Oh, I
motor
have insane OCD.
like, you're riding your bike and you like this I used to ride a motorcycle all the time, and I'd put a backpack on, and then I'd have to pull over and check to see if it was zip closed, even though I checked like 4 times
Yeah,
before I left,
yeah,
because one time I didn't zip it and my shit blew out, and I'm fucked.
yeah. No, I'm the exact same way. I just saw someone commented, "Brendan looks like he has mentors." Thanks. So I'm gonna take that as a compliment.
Oh,
That's an amazing comment.
yeah,
Um,
you never know. These guys are savages in here.
Yeah, no, my OCD is like I deal with stress by having as organized of a life as possible. And I remember one time I bought a new toothbrush because I thought I lost my toothbrush. I was like, how did I lose my toothbrush? And then I found it on the other side of my counter. But I'm like
Wow.
things are where they need to be. It drives speaking to my wife, like drives her insane. But I'm like, things have a place and they need to be in their place. And that's how mentally I don't have to think about it. But
That's
when
the
they're not
you're
there.
like, "There was a glitch in the matrix. I didn't put it
Yeah.
over there."
Yeah,
Hey,
exactly.
does that make coming home hard? I used to travel a lot, and, I didn't realize that I had that problem, but every time I came home, there would be this tension between me and my wife because I was reacclimating to all my shit in the house again. Is there
Yeah.
tension every time you come home for, like, a couple hours? Like, you're like there's, like, mail on this table, and you're like, "That wasn't there when I left."
I think maybe this is a good I hope my wife listens to this. She, I think, is really good at understanding of how I think, and she's also a little OCD herself, so usually when I come home, things are still in their place,
Yeah,
fortunately.
yeah. My wife will completely clean the house every time I'm gone, and, like, it'll be perfect, but I'll still come in and be like,
That isn't quite yeah, no,
yeah,
I'll notice that
but
stuff.
what sucks is it's kind of unconscious. I just turn into a dick,
Yeah.
and then it goes away. She's good
No,
at
I
leaving
had
me
that,
alone, though.
when I lived in Philly before Denver, and I had a roommate in Philadelphia, and he would, like I would come back, and I'd be like, "You used my bathroom." And he'd be like, "How did you know that?" And I was like, "That one thing is moved."
Dude, Brendan, I have this buddy, Travis Bagent, and he's a professional arm wrestler, and we were sharing a room one time, and we go to the room, and then he's napping, so I set up all my stuff in the room, and then I leave, and I come back, and my toothbrush isn't in the bathroom, and I'm like, "Hey, dude, do you know where my toothbrush is?" He's like, "No." Like, "You don't know where my fucking toothbrush is?" He's like, "Nope." I'm like, "Dude, it was fucking right here." He's like, "Nope." I'm like, "Okay, Fuck it. Next morning, I go in the shower to take a shower, and my toothbrush is in the shower.
Oh, man.
And I just stomp out naked into the room, and he's standing there. I'm like, "You motherfucker, you took another man's grown toothbrush and brushed your fucking teeth with it?" He's like, "What?"
That's a lot. I mean, there's a lot to unpack with that story.
That
Using the toothbrush in the shower, using someone else's toothbrush,
using
using
my like, do you have no boundaries?
That's wild.
Yeah, West Virginia, grew up in a trailer. Look at Judy didn't like that either. I know.
Yeah.
Maybe he thought it was his. No. Oh, he didn't brush his teeth with it. Oh god.
Oh,
Well,
man.
well, well, I didn't brush my teeth with it after that either.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was awesome to just connect with you for a bit, and sounds like we're gonna get a chance to meet in person at the CrossFit Games in
Yeah.
August.
Yeah, I'm pumped. I'm pumped. You got your
Nice.
tickets already? They're going quickly.
Yeah, I think, oh, nice. Yeah,
Let
if
me
anyone listening too, CrossFit Games and, what else are we going to? Best hour of their days having a summit in October, so we'll be at that. Yeah, it'd be awesome to meet people in person.
and then you'll be what's the new location for Two Brains Summit? Is it still in Chicago?
Yeah, just a different hotel, same area in Chicago.
Okay. You like those guys?
Super in? Yeah, they're
Yeah.
awesome. I met Chris, like, probably the one of the first few weeks I worked at Wodify, and we invited him similar to the stories of CrossFit HQ, like, we invited him out to our office, and with Chris, we just think the exact same way. We were like, "Chris, we'll share all our data with you," and he was like, "I just wanna help gym owners succeed," and that was 7 years ago, and we've done so many partnerships with Two Brain, and I don't think other than having a booth at their summit, I don't think money has exchanged hands once. So like we produce state of the industry with them every year. We have a dashboard in Wodify called the Business Health Dashboard, and it's Two Brain helped us decide on the KPIs to show on that dashboard. It's co-branded with Two Brain, and he does webinars with us. We produce content for them, and so that relationship has just been built on a kind of mutual mission of just helping gym owners and a trust of like Chris doing the right thing, their team doing the right thing, and us trying to demonstrate to them the same thing.
I love him.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Him and Mike Workington. Yeah.
Yeah,
I wish I lived in the same neighborhood as them. They're awesome. I
yeah.
would drive
Their
him
neighborhood.
crazy.
At least Chris doesn't. Chris live in a kind of
Well, they'd have to
small town in the middle of
they'd
Canada.
have to move to my neighborhood. I mean, I think it gets like -16 where they live. They'd have to move to my
Yeah.
neighborhood. But
Yeah, he's out
Chris
there.
is one of those dudes, he's got, like, property and he pours water on it so kids can ice skate it in the winter. I mean, he's a
Yeah,
cool dude.
yeah.
Yeah. And Mike Workington's the greatest wingman. Do you know him? Mike Workington used to be the editor over at, CrossFit at the Journal. Chief
Yeah,
editor. Yeah.
yeah.
Stud.
He
So
helps us
knowledgeable.
with, I was on a panel he moderated last year at the summit, actually.
Awesome.
Yeah, they're a good team.
Alright. Hey, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for supporting the show.
Yeah, of course. We're super excited to do it and looking forward to more conversations.
Awesome, dude. Okay, I'll see you at the CrossFit Games.
All right, see you then.
Alright,
Thanks,
don't
everyone.
do too many Zoom calls today.
I'll try not to.
Okay, ciao.
See ya.
Wow, that's a cool dude. I might have to put him up in the pantheon with Josh Bridges as, easiest guest. Brendan Rice, Josh Bridges. Holy shit, easy. He looks like Dallin if, he wasn't doing CrossFit his whole life. Oh, I see it. Dallin Pepper, with a little less testosterone. 10 out of 10. Wow. Was Brendan in the movie Superbad? Wow. Wow. I only saw like 20 minutes of that movie before I turned it off, but I already feel the vibes. Wow, I see it. You can't tell how old Brendan is. Is he 15 or is he 40? Yeah, that's wow. Yeah, that's a good dude. It's cool when there's people in the space like that. I need to start my affiliate series again. It's cool talking to people who give a shit like that. Having guests is easy. I want to get Wodify. I can't wait till my kid I get to Avi's done with all his programming. I'm looking at text messages. What happened? I thought wasn't the war over yesterday? Is it still? That's awesome. God, I love it when Taylor fights in the comments. I love it. Hi, I'm a fitness influencer, and I think you should eat sugar. Uh. uh, that's funny. Someone was telling Taylor, and someone was fighting with Taylor on Instagram, and they said something like, "Shut up! All you talk about is riding dick." The war will never be over. Oh, dude was an awesome guest. Yeah, I agree. He needs his own show. You've got to stop listening to Trump. All he does is prematurely rant. I want to hear more rants from him. What are you saying? I'm not listening to him enough. I want to hear more. Is he spoke today? Has he spoke today? Oh shit! No wonder. No wonder. Oh. 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 This guy. I was talking with one of my friends about this guy that she knows, and she was like, and I told her, I said, "Hey, norma normally that guy just looks really feminine to me." And she's like, "Oh, he's on shit now." Well, it turned him into a man. That's crazy. I wonder if I took TRT if I would turn into a man. Can you guys hear this?
And you might want to buckle the fuck up.
Can you guys hear that? Is that audio coming through? Yeah, I think Israel launch another attack? I don't know, but supposedly they were pissed because Iran like shot something towards them or at them after the peacetime. Blah 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 blah. Oh, Andrew Dice Clay wannabe.
Get this. I was at the nut store. I was buying nuts. I go up to the fucking weighted thing. The woman's like, "That's gonna be $100." I was like, "Bitch, I got fucking bills to pay."
I don't even get it. Oh, but he's not even trying to hide that it's an Andrew Dice Clay ripoff. Is that you in that picture? I thought you were a dude. You're a hot black chick? Is that you? Damn. Or is that from a movie? Who's Soy Reka? Sarika. Fuck. I probably have all of you guys figured out wrong. That's you? God damn. Everyone figured out. Is Pat Lang a dude? It would be funny if he said something. I just think he's funny. I just like the way he moves. There's this one thing he does in here. Let me play a little more. Hold on.
You guys ever have a fucking punchline? What the? All right, don't worry. You're gonna love this one.
Like, don't you like that? Just that little mic thing? What's that called? Like, comedy that's like movement comedy? Like, there's different kinds of comedy. There's like, you know what I mean? There's like physical comedy or like, isn't that funny?
Get this. I was at the doctor. Yeah.
I'll probably treat you different now. Where is she? God, I love hot chicks. Just love girls in general. Love my wife. Women are cool.
The fucking doctor. I go up to this doctor. He's like, come in.
Yeah, don't you like that? I go up to this doctor. I go up to this doctor. Don't you like that little thing he does with his fingers? I don't even care what he's saying. I just like watching this guy move.
No breaks. You have cancer. You need.
Oh, thank you, Judy. Hey, you know what's crazy is I don't know, like a month or two ago, someone saw Judy somewhere, and they told me, "Hey, you're gonna like Judy." And I go, "Why?" They're like, "You're just gonna like the way she looks." And like people just know me. My friends know me. I was like, "Oh yeah, that's cool." Like I just like the way some people look. Stupid comedy? Is that bad? Stupid comedy? Oh, shut it. Shut it. Barry McCockner, did you actually think there would be a ceasefire? It is. The war's over. I told you. The fuck up. There we go.
Treatment. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm a healthy guy. I'm a young boy. He's like, you need treatment. I'm like, how much is that going to cost? He's like, $100. I was like, bitch, that's a good deal. This is grade A shit. This is good shit. What the fuck?
I think Tony's pissed that chick next to him thinks he's funny.
Timmy, no breaks, everybody. Wow.
What the?
Timmy. Hi, Timmy. Did you just watch Dice once?
Yeah, I've heard that before. I've heard that.
What do you really like? How long you been doing stand-up?
Too long. 2 months.
2 months.
Like even that scratch, you don't like all that? Damn, my tits are hard this morning. I think that fast did something to me. My chest is crazy. It must be someone needs to hug me and tell me how strong I feel. Oh shit! Oh
Yeah,
no!
like you said, my name's Timmy No
God.
Breaks.
Oh my god! I have to watch it all again.
And you might wanna.
Oh, I'm not watching it again. Anyway, there's a part in there where he touches a comb to his hair, which is amazing. That's Dave Chappelle does that. Bro is not funny. Really? Well, what would you say? Is he engaging? There's a part where, like, instead of combing his hair, he just taps the comb to his hair. It's so funny. Tits or nips, everything. My nipples are hard too. You probably can't see, but my chest is just like, I'm just like I feel like hugging me is probably like hugging like a cutting board right now. It's like, it just, just feel, I'm like, I got to squeeze the grippers or something. If you don't watch it again, it's not funny enough. No. Yeah, I feel like that guy right now. I don't look like that guy. Sethy D. Oh, it's on YouTube. It's on YouTube also. Timmy, what's the guy's name? Timmy T. People send me some funny shit. I don't even have time to go through it anymore. Has anyone noticed that I'm not responding on Instagram anymore? I'm like over at Twitter. I don't even know what's going on with me. I've lost my way. I mean, and not in a bad way, but I've just lost my way. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. I need to refocus. I'm having too much fun. Maybe I got lazy. I saw some lady post, I don't know who it is, but she said that she was kind of like going after Tia Toomey because Tia competed sick. And then she said after High Rock, she got sick. It's like, honestly, like, I don't give a fuck if you go out sick. Like, I would never stay home. Like, I could be coughing the biggest green fucking loogies ever, and I'm still going to Planet Fitness to work out. You know what I mean? In 99. Like I don't give a fuck. Like, if I can still go work out, then deal with it. I'm sick and you want me to stay home. How about you take some vitamin C and worry about your own shit? Listen, you know what I realized? What I realized? This is you guys. There's a cohort of you douche nozzles who are always talking about putting shopping carts away. The shopping cart. It's a litmus test. It's a litmus test. You know what? I put other people's shopping carts away. How about that? I don't put mine away. I put 2 random ones away. So I just float mine in the middle of the street, but I put 2 other ones away. Now what? Now what you got on me? Nothing. She sounds like a pussy. Yeah, I think it was an old lady. No, you don't. Don't ruin my story, Kevin. Shut it. So she blamed Tia that she got sick. Yeah, Tia, like, listen. Who cares if Tia's a savage. She can go exercise anywhere. She can go exercise anywhere she wants. I went to the nursery the other day, and I took the shopping cart to my. It's not even a shopping cart. It's like weird. It's like it's a shop. I guess it's a shopping cart, but it doesn't look like a regular shopping cart. It's weird. It's a San Lorenzo nursery. It's the only place I know that has carts like this. It's like I don't even know how to describe it. They don't have anything like it at Home Depot. It's big. It's got 2 layers up and down, and you can push trees around on it and shit. Anyway, and my 80-year-old stepmom put my shopping cart away for me after I unloaded all the steer manure in the back of my 4Runner. My 80-year-old stepmom put my shopping cart away for me. Yeah, so next time you're like, I'm putting my shopping cart away because I'm a good person. I mean, because I'm worried about what other people will think about me. Just remember, I put 2 random ones away. That's how unselfish I am. I put away other people's shopping carts. I leave mine there, and I put away other people's shopping carts. You're so selfish. You put your shopping cart away because you're worried about what people will think of you. I don't give a fuck what people think of me. I put away 2 other ones. Bam. Tia literally one of the greatest athletes of our time, and she slept on by mainstream media. We're too busy watching LeBron. Yeah, Tia is insane. What a special creature. Van Jones, ladies and gentlemen. Here you go. This is for you, Patty. You know what's great about this whole war thing?
He's buying.
I was talking to my mom about it the other day, and I'm like, isn't it crazy? Half the Republicans who voted for Trump hate Trump now because he bombed Iran, and half the Democrats who hated him now love him. I watched CNN yesterday for 2 hours over at Greg's house in the garage while sipping what did I have? I had garlic pizza. Holy shit, I farted up a storm yesterday. Hold on a second. So, story's out of control all over the fucking place. Went to Greg's yesterday, and I had 3 pieces of the most insane garlic pizza. The whole top of the pizza was covered with pepperoni and garlic. These huge chunks of garlic. And I watched CNN there. Because I've heard everything Fox is saying. That's just it's too much. So I put on CNN. He's got this big 90-inch screen TV in the garage. I got this huge fire going outside the garage. I'm sitting there, and I just finished 3 pieces of garlic pizza, massive pieces, and I'm drinking Tito's and soda water, getting my swerve on. I got there at 6, and I had maybe 1 or 2 Diet Cokes to get a caffeine pep, and then I ate. I think that was the first thing I ate all day. Can't remember, but anyway, and dude, when I got home, my fucking poor wife, dude, I farted in the room, and my Avi was sitting next to me, and he jumps up and he goes, "Holy fuck, I can taste that." And he ran from me. My poor son said that. I can taste it. It was like Do you know just those thick, steamy ones? I do tequila and lime soda water. Yeah, that I don't know. I just grab a sparkling water. Greg's got this ice maker in the garage, and I just grab a cup and put ice and soda water, and then the bottle of Tito's that sits in the freezer. It was crazy. And you know what's nuts? You know how I know my wife doesn't love me as much as she used to? Think about this. She's been with me since I've been 20. So only since we've had kids has she ever critiqued, like, been like, hey, you stink. I've been farting like my whole life, destroying places. Just destroying places. And when I mean destroy places, like if I sit somewhere for 10 minutes and I have a gas session, like the next day, if someone sits in that same spot, they'll know. It could be a concrete slab. I could destroy a concrete slab. It doesn't even have to be a cushion. If it's a cushion, you probably have to throw it out. Like if I ate that pizza and I sat on your couch, you'll probably have to burn your couch. But for 20 years, my wife never said a damn thing about my farts. I would even argue that I could be on a long drive with her and the windows could be cracked and I could roll the windows up. I ran this test and I could fart in the car and she wouldn't even roll the window down. I'd be like, do you like the smell of my fart? She's like, what are you talking about? Like she didn't even smell them. Like that's how much she was in love with me. Oh, my Amazon package just arrived. Now, one toot and I'm getting destroyed. 1 2. Anyway, I can't believe I didn't get kicked out of the room last night. It was. Anyway, I watched CNN for a couple hours, and it's awesome to see that the Democrats are like the Democrats and the Republicans. I love to see it. They're all the two parties got scrambled. My mom's all excited that they bombed Iran. I can't even believe it. I'm like, Trump did that. She's like, well, that's the right thing to do. That's the right thing to do. Like, holy shit. That's like, you know why people don't like Trump? It's the feeling people. It's the feeling people. So yesterday, we came home from Greg's house and Avi had a couple pieces of pizza and we got there and cheese pizza, which I think is like retarded. I think cheese pizza is completely retarded. And like, if you're going to eat cheese pizza, you might like just at that point, I feel this way about bagels too. At the point that you're going to eat bagels, you might as well just eat anything. So like, why don't you eat a donut or a piece of cake or like, it's just garbage. Cheese pizza is just garbage. It's just pleasure food. That's fine if you like it. But if you're going to eat garbage food, like eat a handful of candy or a Snicker bar or something. It's like cheese pizza. That's just how I think about it. And so we get home and Avi says to me, hey, and my wife had just made some sourdough bread. Can I have some bread? I'm like, hey, did you just have 2 pieces of cheese pizza there? Or why don't you eat like a can of tuna or something, or have some steak? There's some steak in the pan on the stove or something. Why don't you have some protein? And my other son says, hey, why are you being mean to him? And I go, I'm not. And he goes, why don't you let him eat bread? I'm like, hey, dude, inside, I feel like saying you can eat whatever you want. That's what I feel like saying to my son. Can I have the new Nintendo Switch too? No problem. It's $800 at Walmart. I'll buy it for you right now. I feel like saying that. Right? I feel like the Democrat in me, the Kamala in me, the Joe Biden in me feels like saying, I will buy you fucking whatever the fuck you want. But the other part of me, the Donald Trump in me, the Republican in me is like, no, I have a fucking responsibility here. And I can't do what I can't buy him the Switch 2 for $800 when I know in 2 weeks it's going to be $400. I can't let him just keep eating fucking carbs 24 hours a day. I have to fucking put my foot down. And that's the difference between the two parties. One of them's just like, yeah, I feel like Juan Gonzalez should get to stay in the country even though he's raped 17 girls under the age of 15 because he might get treated poorly in his own country. Yeah, I feel you. But no, you got to go. Hello, caller. Hi.
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 You got to get rid of the worms.
Oh, I saw we had a debate yesterday. I moved this huge piece of firewood, huge. I'm so fucking strong. I moved this piece of firewood, and underneath it there were these things that looked like 100 maggots. Speaking of worms, but I swear they were termites. They were baby termites. I think. Poop, pupa, pupa, pupil, pupa.
Pupa. Yeah, you got to get some black walnut. And then the wormwood, oregano oil, grapefruit extract.
Hold on, I'm writing this down.
Grapefruit seed extract.
Okay, grape, fruit, seed extract. What was the other thing you said? Like walnuts. And what was the other thing you said?
Black walnut.
And what was the other thing? One other thing?
Wormwood. Wormwood.
What is wormwood? Is that a mushroom?
No, it's a little bush. Tiny bush.
Okay.
It's 2 feet high. Tiny bush.
I love a tiny bush. I dated this Pakistani girl. She had a tiny little bush. Her vagina was like felt like a hummingbird, like it was made of hollow bones. She had the most delicate vagina ever. You know, some vaginas are just fucking big hamburgers. Just big gushy steaks with like, you feel that there's a T-bone in there. And then some of them, like you're with the Pakistani girl and the thing's like all gentle and shit, like a little wishbone on a chicken. You know what I mean? You're like, fuck, if I do any side-to-side action, I might break this thing. Be chill.
You got to get clove oil. You know about the clove oil?
No, clove oil. Oh, you said oregano oil. I've heard so many things about oregano
oil too.
Yeah, oregano oil.
What?
Oregano oil. You know what's crazy is you call in here and some people just are like, they hear your voice or your cadence and they might be like, who the fuck is this? Is this guy out of his fucking mind? But I know, I'm familiar with the poet Rumi. I know that you have a genius packaged in your unique presentation. I'm not stupid.
Yeah.
I'd let you perform heart surgery on me.
I know.
You know.
I'll pull a tooth out for you.
And I'm good. Thank you. I got all my, every time I go to the dentist, he's like, fuck, you got good teeth. My mom's like, your teeth are fucked. I'm like, the dentist thinks they're great.
Yeah. So listen, you got to get the
no cavities.
That
53 years old.
Broad fork. You got to get a broad fork, man.
I got to get what?
The broad fork. And then you got to get 10 guys to wrestle with it. You know, I try to wrestle with that broad fork. I get winded out, you know. It beats the shit out of you. I did the broad fork for like 10 feet, and then I went to the store, and somebody tried to talk to me. I didn't really talk because I couldn't.
Blood fork.
Broad.
Oh, broad. Yeah, of course. God, I'm an idiot. Sorry. I'm embarrassed. I don't know my gardening tools. You should have a section of my garden taken from me. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you. Go ahead.
You got to get 10 guys to wrestle with the broad fork. And then you're going to have a movement. And then you're going to have money.
God, look at this.
You just sell the turnips.
Look at this. Look at this.
You got to sell turnips.
Look at this titanium broad fork. Wow. Only $358.
You take it in the woods. You take it and you just
That's what I told my wife on our first date. That's what I told my wife on our first date. You need to take it in the woods.
Yeah. That's good. So you get the Wodify, and then you start a movement.
Yes. You could start a
movement.
Yeah, you could start a movement with Wodify. My colleagues Miranda Alcaraz and Julian Alcaraz got absolutely filthy rich using Wodify. Like filthy rich. Like their house probably has like 3 washers and 3 dryers in it, I'm guessing. That's how rich they are. I'm guessing. I don't know that.
What did they do?
Yeah, they do.
What
They utilized Wodify. They utilized Wodify. They shared with the world. They built an online community of people who don't really want to do CrossFit but want to work out but don't want to work out really hard, and gave them a place to feel like they're doing something, even though before they go to sleep every night they eat a pint of ice cream.
I know an old lady has a house, and she got a lawn, nice lawn, and we can go and use the broad fork, make this all good, and plant some.
What's her cup size? What's her cup size? What's the lady's cup size?
I don't know. I never seen her.
Yeah, but you can see through her clothes.
I have no idea.
Is she stacked?
No, I don't know who the fuck she is.
Oh.
I just see like people drive up to her house and go inside.
People just drive up to her house and go inside. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know. I never seen. Okay.
Best 7 minutes of my life. Thank you. Love you. Bye. Broad fork. All right. There he is. Pat, you jackass. I'm coming in here to butt slam you. Where are you? If we're being honest, the value of the show goes down when this clown calls. It used to be funny. Now it's stupid. God. I'll leave your anus alone. Okay, where were we? Oh, this back to Pat's favorite man on the internet. Here we go. Look at this. By the way, is Van Jones gay? Is he? I can't tell. Anyway, here we go.
Himself some time in some room. I was also in the Holy Land very recently. I think
I was in the Holy Land very recently. Right there, he betrayed himself, right? But that's okay. I don't mind that. Here we go.
Progressives underestimate how dangerous Iran is. Iran is not a normal country. Normal countries don't blind women because they showed some hair. They don't empower little gangs and proxies to surround a country and fire rockets and rape people. So Iran, the two things are clear. The what, they cannot have a bomb, and the why, because they say death to America, death to Israel, and death to all the Jews. One of those should offend you if you're progressives. At least one should offend you. And so...
Did you hear that? One of those should offend you.
America, death to Israel, and death to all the Jews, because they say death to America, death to Israel, and death to all the Jews.
Death to Israel, death to America, death to all the Jews, whatever.
One of those should offend you.
One of those should offend you. Oh, fucking CNN. How blatant are the libtards? Like that's the premise of all their arguments. That's the most honest thing he's ever said. It's just all about like, hey, offending people, taking offense. That's the whole premise. That's the whole premise. So listen, so I just broke it down for you. If your kids want to know, the difference between a Republican and a Democrat is a Republican does things that like you have to do. You don't want to prune your tree, but you have to. You don't want to dig the tree out of your yard, but you have to because its roots are about to fucking tear out your plumbing. Oh, but I feel bad. You don't want to kill the black bear that's in your front yard, but you have 5 kids inside. And so the Republican is someone who can see their feelings and realize, hey, that's not reality, and that's not the best decision for everyone. Jeremy World, Van Jones is gay adjacent. So there you go. I just explained to you the two parties for anyone who doesn't know. It's like, hey, we all feel it. Just some of us have turned into fucking adults, and we don't let our feelings like make every single one of our judgment calls. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That's amazing. Someone just texted me something that, anyone, every day, I'm so, this is how rich my life is. If you're wondering, like, is Sevy's life really cool or does he just make that shit up? Every day, add this on top of the fact that I raise my kids and the greatest thing ever. Every day, someone texts me something that, like, excites me. Like, God, I can't believe what someone just texted me. I can't share it, but I can just tell you it excites me. It's not as good as like my wife didn't just text me and it wasn't like, hey, when you come inside, the kids are gone. I'm gonna blow the fuck out of you. It's not like that. It's not like that. But it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, what did someone say to me yesterday? Like the other day, Hiller texted me and he's like, "Oh my god, I got the greatest interview with Fee Sagafi." Or he sent me a little clip of some footage he got with Ty Jenkins, and I just get so excited. He got this footage with Ty Jenkins. Holy shit! I might have to send Hiller a text saying I'm gonna blow him. It's crazy the shit he's getting. And the only retarded thing about Hiller is he thinks anyone can do what he's doing. He's like, I don't understand why other people don't do this. It's like, dude, that's like asking why someone doesn't run a fucking sub 4 minute mile. They can't do what you're doing, dude. But I mean, what? I'll take a little bit of that. Like, I guess that's called humility or some shit. You know when you're really good at something, but you don't know because it's just normal to you? That's like Hiller's in that world. What is this? I probably shouldn't watch this. I'm not going to say anything nice. I don't want to be. Not right now. Did we look at I think I already showed this. Oh yeah, I showed the guy, the cop uppercutting that lady who spit on him. All right, the show might be over. Something from Putin. You got a Putin clip? Oh, we already looked at that. Oh, but yeah, Putin says he's not going to bomb. He doesn't want to go to war with Israel because there's too many Russians who live there. We talked about all the bombs. Oh, what's this? This is why people hate Dave. Oh, yeah, this is good. This is good. Oh, I saw Fikowski's going to be either was on or going to be on the Mayhem podcast. That should be some fucking real. This is on the Secretary of the Army's Instagram account. TDC. Look at that. That's cool, right? All the Europeans are like, oh my God, guns. And the liberals. The Secretary of the Army in the first picture has the fucking TDC logo on it. Gun, barbell, piston. Like that dude had to wake up that morning and be like, today I'm going to do some badass shit. And I'm going to put that shirt on. That's cool, right? Army transformation in motion at Fort Stewart. I saw the U.S. Army Transformation Initiative in motion. Live fires with tanks and Bradley stress shoots that push soldiers to the edge and formations laser focused on lethality. This is how we build an army that is ready to fight and win and allows transgender people to hold guns. I also had a candid conversation with our soldiers about the quality of life concerns to help find solutions we can scale across the army. I didn't know any of those. Remember when Brendan Rice was on here like 40 minutes ago or 30 minutes ago? I didn't know any of those acronyms he said, like KIP or ERT or CLM or CDM or CFY. It would be funny. I would meet with these. It's funny that I don't know. And I don't know any of that stuff. Anyway, there you go. Secretary of Defense. I want Dave to be fired. How about I don't know why CrossFit. I don't know why the CrossFit has Border Patrol as a sponsor. They're totally going in the wrong direction. Yeah, yes. Oh my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, the show is coming close to an end. We had fun. We learned how to make money. If you want to be an entrepreneur and push things, sell things, you have ideas, you want to make a series on how to cook dough, how to train little kids, how to mow a lawn, how to anything, use the Wodify QR code. Save $400 now. Get independence from the man. Start your own business. Oh, Castro Weekend Review. Shit. Yeah, I need to do that today. Thank you. Rambler's a girl? What the fuck is going on? But before we do, an Afghan asylum seeker. God, Great Britain is fucked.
Disgusting case. Well, one of the most disgusting cases I've seen in recent days, weeks, whatever.
That's how much disgusting shit's happening in the UK.
A man called Sadiq Niksad, 29.
It's Sadiq Niksad from Afghanistan.
Raped a 15-year-old girl following her down the street in broad daylight in a town in Scotland. Entered the UK illegally.
Raped her in broad daylight.
2 years before the attack. From Afghanistan. He harassed her and then went and raped her in a courtyard. This is the man pictured. And we're not deporting him.
Well, no, he arrived on a small boat just a few years ago.
They're not deporting someone who... Oh. Sorry. See you. They're not deporting this fucking asshole. Hey, dude, even if he wasn't a citizen, they should deport him. You can't do... If you're a grown man, you can't talk to 15-year-old girls, let alone fucking rape them, you...
At the court, he was shouting and screaming at the judge. But most extraordinarily, his counsel, acting for him on the taxpayer's pound, was saying that there were significant cultural differences.
That's the liberal part. That's the liberal part. Think about it. I feel that our cultural differences have made it hard for a 29-year-old man to assimilate in our society. And because in his country, it's perfectly okay to rape little girls. And I just feel like we should be compassionate and give him a break. The Republicans are like, sorry, we have zero tolerance. A little hard on us because, you know, all humans are created by God and we know everyone should be created equally, but we're not willing to risk you piece of shit from raping little girls, so we're throwing you into the fucking middle of the Pacific Ocean. That's the difference. Listen, Mr. Lange, there's not one conservative who's like, I could see the point of keeping them here. Not one. Not even a little one. Not even a tiny bit, dude. And here's the thing about the liberals. 99% of the liberals want to keep this dude, but if they became face to face with this dude, they would kick him out. Because when they watch TV or watch Twitter or see shit from the comfort of their own homes, they don't have the intellectual capacity, they don't have the mental horsepower or the balls to be like, yep, some hard decisions have to fucking be made. Throw this dude in the Pacific Ocean. Why? Because he raped someone's fucking daughter.
Between the UK and Afghanistan.
Okay. You got me. 99% want to keep him. Seems like you made that. You got me. I made that up. You got me. I lied. I embellished. I was inconsistent. I used data from my own. I was acting like a liberal. I was using emotion. That's emotional data.
This asylum seeker came from, and that those cultural differences meant that he didn't understand that he shouldn't rape a 15-year-old girl.
Yeah, that's the listen, my fellow Democrats. He didn't know that it wasn't okay. We can't deport him. Let's re-educate him. Let him know the rule is 18 years old. Let's re-educate him. Rambler 2. The hot dog in his mouth. Everything Sevon says is fake. That's correct. This show is a satire show. I don't actually think that John Woolley jerks off to Danny Spiegel. You see that? Is that a double entendre? Everything I say is fake. I don't think Danny Woolley jacks off to Spiegel. John, get that. Oh, fuck. Love you guys. I'll see you later today. Dave Castro Weekend Review. Thanks for hanging out with me. Remember, if you're going to try a new supplement, what the fuck? Why won't this thing snap back? If you're going to try a new supplement, the wisdom guy says that oregano oil. I have heard oregano oil is the shit. Bye, Janelle. David Weed, 6 out of 10. That's got to be a new record for me. What time's the weekend review? I don't know. Not for a few hours. I'm gonna be in my car for an hour and then 90 minutes of gymnastics and then another hour in the car and then hopefully Greg invites me to lunch and I'll get my swerve on and then I'll have to come home and work out and sober up and I don't know. It'd be a chaotic day. Love you guys. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.